Good day, YouTube. Powering this box fan filter, LED, other filter, phone charger with this inverter here. And so what I got going here on the input side is this positive lead that I'm going to connect to this little rail, which is a 3.3 UF 50 volt electrolytic, as well as a 10,000 UF 35 volt. And then some of these are reverse polarity while others are normal polarity, but the rest are not plugged in. So as you can see what happened last time, so I'm just going to do this very briefly because I don't want it to happen again, but I think it's important to show. And our inverter status is green, good to go. And we're powering real devices here, which is awesome. And this is off-grid here with these devices, just so you know. And then, so let's plug this into the positive lead. And this is going to be very brief because, yeah. See that? So I'm gonna unplug this before anything gets hot, because if you look, what happens, so this is a 10 ohm resistor, and so obviously I need to change some things still, but basically what happened last time is a matter of probably a minute or 30 seconds or so. This started surging and went wom 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 wom, and this built up a lot of energy, and basically you can see those burn marks there, and this started smoking, and so I immediately unplugged it, right? But yeah, I just want to show you that because this is connected to the negative rail here on this capacitor bank, and this is connected to positive. So this is in parallel to these capacitors, which is the DC input of this boost converter, which is coming off of terminal AD. And I covered this stuff up, but basically it's just through a resistor and then another 100 volt 0.1 UF electrolytic capacitor right here as spike buffer. And then something I want to note is that I have a 350 volt spark gap right here, and then a very high frequency 0.001 UF 50 volt ceramic disc capacitor, and then this is a 1N 2700 diode, I believe, and then another 10 ohm resistor right there. And then obviously I have multiple branches in parallel going up to here. I want to be fully transparent here, no lies. So this neon bulb right here that's rated for 90 volts, you can't see it too well, but if I were to zoom in, you can actually see that lead melted off right there. That's pretty wild. So yeah, I started covering some stuff because I don't want anything that's not supposed to short, like from this side to that side, to short, right? That would not be good, because that would be like shorting these batteries, basically. Um, but as you can see, we have some isolation here on the positive, like that, and we have forms of isolation over here. Excuse me. And then, yeah, I just wanted to show you that effect because this is really interesting. You can have these LEDs not burn out. They can be reversed polarity. Depending on the scalar field geometry, they may or may not light. Graphene supercapacitor is really good for absorbing these transient vibrations, especially double wall graphene one that's relatively high voltage, high enough voltage to reach some sort of MPPT lock-in, or at the very minimum, the threshold voltage for a boost converter. Or if you had too much voltage, maybe you could like go down, with a buck converter or something like that. So there's a lot of options here, but you have to work with your components to make it work, and the frequencies have to align properly. If I just throw in a bunch of capacitors just randomly willy-nilly, what happens is the scalar field goes silent, basically. This input voltage drops down to like half a volt, compared to overnight ambient, it was sitting at 0.6 volts. and from 5:30 in the morning till 6:45 in the morning, it went from 0.6 to 0.86 volts. And then, yeah, at 5:45 in the morning or so, 5:47 actually, this inverter turned on in the morning, and my solar panel's oriented like this, and the sun comes up over here like that. So it's hitting the back side of the panel. It's not bifacial or anything. Kind of interesting. So that didn't happen before, just so you know. I know for a fact because I come in this garage and I pay attention. And then I want to note something right here. I have a Scotchy diode right here. And what that's doing is it's allowing the back EMF to be better utilized by this graphene supercapacitor here. And what's this doing is like a high frequency dampener. So it's like more of a voltage component trying to control that amperage. As you can see, it's not doing a good job, not a good enough job. This would be a ceramic one, it'd be better. And then maybe we need a higher ohms, or at the very least, something that can handle more watts. Like, what are those brick capacitors? Or not capacitors, resistors? What are they called? Cement? Like this? Yeah. Something like that. Something similar to that. I think that's what this needs. Combination of that. Um, or maybe this energy needs to surge and go out somewhere as like a buffer as well. I'm not really sure yet, but pretty interesting stuff. And then as you can see, the good old LED test, touch the negative, touching with my body. My body's just chilling here. Yeah. And then if I were to touch this negative, same thing, lights up. And then we don't even have this positive connected, but we do have the negative connected there. So, yeah,